Hey, Newsa-Cast listeners. Just want to give you a little information about the mission of the Newsa-Cast. Our mission stems from the mission of the Red Smith Banquet, and that mission was to support youth sports in the Fox Valley. Over the 57 years of its existence, we've been honored to give out over $1 million to various youth sports organizations throughout the Fox Valley. The Newsa-Cast is looking to continue that mission and support youth sports as well. You can help us do that by donating to the Newsa-Cast and the Red Smith Sports Banquet.
Today on the Newsa-Cast, we dip back into the world of lacrosse. As a hometown kid, so to speak, he played at Bayport. He plays now in the Indoor Lacrosse League. Elijah Gash, he joins us for a great interview. Our Red Smith Banquet Throwback takes us to Mark Murphy. He's come to the banquet many years. With this year that we honored him with the Red Smith Award. Tosh and I take an old look at new. We played a little It's Forgotten and I'm Never Forgetting. Let's just get this show on the road.
That was my first fight. That half second in between throwing punches. Oh, wow, we're actually dropping gloves. You know what I mean? Take the helmets off in front of all these fans. You know what I mean? There was a second where I was like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. And then you're locked back in. You know what I mean? You got to like, oh, he wants to hurt me.
Welcome to the Newsa-Cast. What is a Newsa-Cast? It's where we bring local folk stories to life through conversation.
All right, Newsa-Cast listeners, welcome to the official Green Bay Packer draft episode.
It's here.
Of the Newsa-Cast. I'm obviously just teasing a little bit about that. We don't have an official draft episode, but it's finally here, Joe. The draft is here.
You know, Ty, it's been kind of... So I've laughed. For those of you that have followed along, it's been well over a year now, Tosh, right? You're forgetting or forgotten what was the little clock ticker. And ever since then, that's all I've noticed. And I think about you every morning because when I'm looking at the weather, they always have the clock countdown. But yeah, it's here. It's been kind of fun to watch him build that stage and to see him kind of just repurpose that whole area for right around Lambeau for the NFL experience, the draft experience. Pretty cool. Biggest, you and I were talking before, right? It's got to be the biggest event ever in Green Bay.
I would agree. I mean, it is incredible, and it's great for the community. The amount of money that's going to come in to the community, Fox Cities, Green Bay is absolutely amazing. I would love to talk to the marketing people of the NFL and how you made a bunch of college kids getting drafted, not even playing, such a huge event, because it's amazing. It's amazing. People watch it. It's amazing how tuned in they are to it. It's amazing. They dress up and paint their faces and cheer and jeer whenever, it's marketing genius for sure.
The NFL is incredible to watch, right? They have captured the entire calendar.
Yeah.
I mean, there's schedule release as an event. They literally have cucked the NFL on Christmas Day, right?
Yeah.
That used to be growing up. You used to always watch NBA basketball, and the NFL has just taken over the holidays. They literally do whatever they want to do, and they make the thing year round. And you're right. Now with the draft, I mean, it's I can't remember the lady's name from the NFL, but she's like the senior event planner or whatever. And she was saying this is our largest, event every year is the draft. And it's probably bigger than the Super Bowl because I don't know if the NFL, I guess I don't know how that works from their standpoint, but man, they literally are they're turning it into a brand, like into an entirely different city.
They are. And if you really think about it, it could be bigger than the Super Bowl as far as population wise. It totally is. And you're talking, how many hundreds of thousands of people are going to come over 3 days. It's amazing,
right.
And if that event coordinator is listening for some reason to this awesome podcast. She can reach out to the Newsa-Cast, and we'd love to have her on and talk about this event and how this event got as big as it is. I mean, because there's no other sport that has quite the draft preview like this is. I know the NHL has been at the Spear the last couple of years, and they're trying to make a bigger deal out of their draft, but nothing compares to the NFL.
Kind of helps to have an endless budget, doesn't it? I mean, can you imagine what? I can't even imagine. I think about the Red Smith banquet and how we agonized over an LED screen on the back wall behind the stage, and you look at this draft theater, and it's freaking, 75 yards of LED screens. It's nuts.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine the cost and the people that operate that in the production. It's just multi millions of dollars. But I don't know. The NFL just prints money, so I get this is what you get. I guess
there you go.
Kind of cool.
It is cool. It is pretty cool. I know. I was thinking about trying to get up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it with other events going on, but it is a special event. I know I'll be tuned in. And obviously we've been making fun of this for a year, but obviously be sad when it leaves, because it is something special for Green Bay, the Fox cities. I see the signs on the highway as I'm driving back from Oshkosh every day. This is NFL draft parking tune here. So it's cool. It's going to be fun.
And surely all the out-of-town folks that have discovered the Newsa-Cast for the first time will like and subscribe our YouTube content, our podcast content. They know how to hit that little bell or hit that subscribe button. So,
and if they're at,
we thank you.
Yeah, and if they're at the draft and they get to kick a field goal on Lambeau, if they could, again, reach out to the Newsa-Cast wherever you can, email us, whatever. Tell us how that was, so we can maybe have you on and explain what it's like to stand on Lambeau Field and kick a field goal.
That's right. We're curious folks, Tosh and I.
Well, it's going to be great. I know we'll be tuning in on Thursday night to catch that first one. It looks like the weather's going to hold off for everybody. So it's fantastic. It's going to be fun, but we have some other events to talk about as well. And there's a big event coming up on Saturday that's not NFL related, but lacrosse related. And Appleton United and Kimberly Lacrosse are hosting what they're calling Lacrosse Fights Cancer. And, a lot of this is a big honor to Roger, who we've had on the show, Kimberly coach, who's played such an important role in lacrosse in the Fox cities. And to talk about his leukemia that he had and his blood cancer, and, to really bring light to it and try to raise some money.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Roger fought the great fight and won.
Yep.
And now it's awareness and it's research and just letting everybody know what this is. But yeah, Roger with an incredible story. We've had him on, a couple of times. We had a full episode where we talked a lot about just his life, and we had a lot of the Bay Valley coaches on recently. Great episode, a couple of episodes ago. Check that out. But yeah, Roger at that time, his numbers came back. He's healthy. He's retired, Tosh. He got to mention too, he helped us get our guest tonight for this episode, absolutely. Elijah. But you're right. He there's literally nothing Roger won't do, and especially when it comes to lacrosse.
Right.
And it's, the least we can do is let's listen to his story and let's how great would it be to find a cure for
absolutely
all cancer?
All cancer, yeah.
Leukemia, whatever it is, we're all affected by it.
And that's, if you're not going to the draft and Saturday, you're looking for something, there's going to be 8 games actually, JV and varsity. Oconomowoc is coming from the south and Edgewood from Madison, and they're going to be playing Kimberly and Appleton United. Not quite sure. There's some questions about times. I know some of the Madison schools have prom, and they're hoping to kind of move times around a little bit. But it's going to be a full day of action at Appleton East. Patriots Field there, and you're going to be able to see some amazing lacrosse. There should be some good battles in all the games. And, you can sit back. There'll be food. There'll be events going on. It'll be a full day of lacrosse, and it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, those are always fun days, definitely. And Pickett Field's a great place to see some games. Yeah. And man, I could go for some ballpark concession food. Tosh, smells so good. 6 or 7 brats.
We didn't even mention, I mean, we kind of did, but that leads into our guest this week, who you had the pleasure of talking with. He had a busy schedule because he is a pro athlete, playing indoor lacrosse right now in the NLL, and I couldn't be there. I had an event to work, but you get to sit down with Elijah Gash.
Yeah, it was great to catch up with him. I remember, like we talked about in the interview, but I remember his playing career at Bayport. Back even further, any Packer fan on here, and I know all the draft folks will remember Sam Gash played football for, well, he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, but he played for Carolina, a bunch of different teams. Actually came here and coached the running backs for the Packers back right around 2000. That's ultimately what kind of got Elijah and the Gash family over here. And Elijah being the oldest, he went to Bayport, and I remember I reffed him both in football and lacrosse, and man, he was just any D1 athlete you see, any high school D1 athlete that's out on a field, on a court, whatever. They're just different. There's something about them, the aura, the look, the way they handle themselves. You can just tell that they're different, and Elijah was definitely one of those folks.
Yeah, when you talk about athletes coming from this area and they do go on to become professional athletes, you know it when you see them, all the way back into middle school. To be honest, they're just a step above, and it's pretty incredible. A lot of them, you see that there are some kids who just blossom later in life and go on to make that transition, but he still is a stud athlete, and he's living the dream. He's playing a professional sport, and we are extremely lucky to have him on. And obviously, thanks to Roger for setting that up. It's a great interview, and he's a great person, and you're going to get to know him, and obviously, you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt, Tosh, and kudos to us for not bringing up the fact that his fight went viral.
That is a point to bring up. It was all over Sports Center. It was all over social media. He dominated this guy. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. we break it down. I couldn't help myself.
Okay.
I had to ask it, and there was there's just a moment in one of the clips where the gloves come off and he's cocked back, and you could just see the eyes. And I asked him about that specific moment because, man, it's go time. And I mean, for those of you that haven't seen Elijah, the guy is just chiseled out of granite. I mean, he is just, guy's a beast, but the nicest guy in the world. It's just, it's weird. You step between the lines, or in this case, hop over the boards to get onto the indoor lacrosse field. And, you go into beast mode. So this guy stood no chance against Elijah once the gloves were off.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good. You're going to love it. And I have to say this, Joe, because it is draft week, but the first pick in the Noosa draft is to lead into an old look at new.
Hey, we're taking it number 1, Tosh. Great pick. It's that time again, once again, for an old look at new, brought to you by Raleigh Winter and Associates, celebrating 55 years. Did you know that in 1962, an Appleton junior high school teacher with a strong work ethic started a residential realty company? His name, Raleigh Winter. 3 generations later, the Winters still hold true to a strong work ethic and an excellent reputation in the community. Today, Raleigh Winter and Associates remain actively involved in providing retail, office, and industrial users an affordable, well-designed working environment through the creation and/or acquisition of quality real estate in the Fox Cities and even beyond new. So what do you say? Let's take an old look at new.
All right, it is time for that look at history, where we like to take a look at the world around us. Sometimes it is like, dates and times. Other times it's random things that Joe sees, and he decides that this is an old look at news. So, Joe, anything random in your world today?
Well, it is kind of random, Tosh, and we've actually might have done this one before, but one day here, well, any day, it's going to get warm where we're really going to want to eat ice cream, right? And I can think of no better place in the Fox Cities to get ice cream than good old Dick's Drive-In in Kaukauna. And it did come across my radar where this thing goes back to the 1950s, where fella Richard Sternhagen, Dick Sternhagen, from Kaukauna, he opened it up, and it's your classic little 1950s drive-in where, you get the family treats, great little burger, but I mean, it's the ice cream, the malts, I mean, we've all been there. Gosh, I want to go there right now, but it was so good. And it is an old look at new, I think, right, Tosh? It's an old building. It's been around for 75 plus years
Absolutely.
now. And it's, man, it's a classic place.
That's awesome. It is a good place for a burger as well. They have some good food there, and that line gets long during the summer. So fantastic little place.
Yeah, no doubt. I in one of the stories that somebody told about Dick Sternhagen was saying that back in the day that the kids couldn't, I don't either they couldn't afford it or were just trying to work just doing what kids do. They could pick up trash and Dick would give them a free menu item. So
nice.
That for a while for an ice cream cone, that'd be worth it, I think, on a summer day.
I think so. Absolutely. I'll go do that for a free ice cream cone.
Heck yeah. Cheeseburger.
There you go.
Cheeseburger and a malt. I'm ready to go.
Excellent.
All right, Tosh. Well, while I take off and do that, what are you going to take a look at in an old look at new?
I'm going to go back to a date, and that specific date is April 23rd, 1934. And on that date, there's a little place in Vilas County called Manitowish Waters. And in Manitowish Waters, there is a place called Little Bohemia Lodge. And back in 1934, on April 23rd, the FBI was tipped off that John Dillinger was hiding out at Little Bohemia. So they raided Little Bohemia. They accidentally killed an innocent civilian conservation corps worker, and Dillinger escaped. So if you don't know a lot there's a lot of history about, some of our like Capone and all those guys hiding out and, not hiding out, but doing things up in the North Woods. And there's a history of them going up there. So it's kind of cool. And if you want to take a look at that, but that was 1934, April 23rd.
Nice. I like that one. Yeah, it's cool. All the mobsters coming to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Cool. That is a cool history.
Yeah, John Dillinger. All right.
John Dillinger. Yeah, I remember my dad talking about that one.
And speaking of, I don't know, I can't even transition into this one. Joe, who's it sponsored by?
Hey, I thought it was great, Tosh. and I know this guy would have remembered John Dillinger too, would have been Raleigh Winter. So Raleigh started Raleigh Winter and Associates. We're third generation in, and yeah, they're the sponsors, Tosh, of an old look at new where you and I think pretty much just nailed this segment. Smooth. All right, guys, like Tosh said, he wasn't able to join us for this interview, but I had a chance to sit down, catch up, and get to know Elijah Gash. I'm sure, I mean, I've listened to some podcasts you've done, interviews, and I know the number one question is the fight in the box lacrosse, and we'll get to that later, but one of my first introductions to you, and I don't know if you'll remember this, was actually another fight. And it was probably in 2018. one of my favorite places to ref was always Bayport, because you guys used to get a huge crowd. I mean, it was electric. It was, I wouldn't say it was quite like football, but it was darn close on some nights. And on this particular night, you were playing Appleton, and that's always a heated rivalry. And we had a 3-man crew officiating, and I was on the single side, and let's just say all hell broke loose with you right in the middle. And man, my heart was pumping. And as an official, I probably shouldn't say this, but goddamn, that was fun. It was electric. The crowd went nuts. It took a while to sort out, but man, that was high school lacrosse literally at its finest that night. It was fun. The sport was alive. The game was really good, I guess, minus that little part. But I mean, you had a great career at Bayport.
No, I mean, it was like you said, the Appleton game was always it was a nice rivalry because I played with all those guys, like John Lovesey, all those guys I played with in Summer Bowl.
Yeah.
So whenever we got to see each other in the spring, it was there was a little extra spice in it,
Yeah, no doubt. That's kind of the cool thing with lacrosse, isn't it? Because you guys compete, for a couple of months in the high school season, but then you're together all summer, and that summer circuit's a lot of fun to. I mean, you hang with the buddies. You're in the hotels. You're a team, and it's pretty competitive for summer ball for sure. You're playing teams from all over the country. That had to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Especially the lacrosse community is so small, especially in Wisconsin. So everybody knew everybody. Like, let alone like Appleton, there was guys I knew who played for Nina. Oneida. So it was so small, especially in that community. So yeah, it was everybody knew everybody. So it was every single game it was fun for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, lacrosse was still pretty young. People didn't understand it. And it's growing up maybe a little bit, but it's still a relatively new sport. But with the WIAA now being a sanctioned sport, that's pretty cool and a good step for lacrosse. You spent a lot of time on the East Coast, and I don't know if us in the Midwest really understand, but lacrosse on the East Coast is every bit what Friday Night Football is here, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I mean, my first year of college, I was down in Iowa. I played for an NAIA program, so I didn't really get to experience the East Coast lacrosse until my first year at Albany, which was it was a culture shock for sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's their football out there. That's just how it is, especially the certain schools that we had guys come from. But it was it was a culture shock for sure.
Yeah, they take it so serious. I mean, Albany is. You took a unique road. I mean, your whole career has been pretty unique and fascinating, but I mean, Albany is, it's one of the top teams year in and year out in college lacrosse. I mean, that experience, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, no, I mean, having the legacy that you had there with the Thompson brothers, you know what I mean? Like, in my position, there was Troy Ray, who I've always looked up to. I mean, the names that have went to Albany, and then having the ability to go follow them, you know what I mean, and play where they played, lift where they lift, walk where they walk, take classes where they took classes. It was, it was something really special.
When you're in the heat of that, in the middle of the season, like, how do you balance school, academics, playing? Because I mean, you guys have a pretty busy schedule, obviously, and then especially when you get into playoffs leading up to Memorial Day and the Final Four. I mean, that's got to be, how the heck do you manage that, balance that? Are there tutors that travel with you?
So there are no tutors that travel with us, but they took care of us. You know what I mean? My tutor my academic advisor, his name was Jed. He took care of me. Like, he made it super, super easy for me. Basically picked all my classes for me.
Yeah.
I could have done a better job kind of paying attention in those classes, to be honest.
That's but
but it was they made it super, super easy. And Coach Mar, he's academics first. You know what I mean? So if you're not killing it in the classroom, then you're not playing. That's just how he is. He's like a father to me, you know what I mean? So they all looked out for me and everybody on that team, he doesn't bring anybody in if he doesn't think it's a good fit academically, culturally, like all that stuff.
So were you recruited by him through I heard you tell a story about, it was either St. Ambrose or Albany recruited you by just seeing you on film?
Yeah. So I played my first year at that NAIA school, St. Ambrose. And then I was just kind of like, to be honest, I wasn't passing it academically there, so I didn't really know where I was going to go. And then a family friend sent my film out. I believe it was my high school film to a couple of coaches. And Coach Mar was he like kind of reached out, and I was like, absolutely, yeah. Took a visit,
Yeah.
and then that was that. That's all she wrote. You know what I mean?
So when you're stepping in there for the first time, I mean, are you expecting to start? I mean, what's your mindset at going in there? You just trying to learn? You're the young kid. I mean, it's got to be kind of intimidating even for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, no disrespect to Midwest lacrosse, but it's a
No
little,
comparison.
no, it's a couple of steps behind. But by the time I get in there, I was 20 years old. You know what I mean? So I was older than the freshmen and some of the sophomores. But no, I wasn't expecting to start. I wasn't expecting to play until my last year, honestly. And then just the guys that I had around me and the coaching that I had, it's just they put me in opportunities to succeed, and I ended up starting my first season and kind of started the rest of my career there. So I was just thankful for everybody around me.
Is that just proving yourself then in training camp in those first couple of games? Is that just you pretty much busting it, playing your game, and then the coaches take notice and you're starting? I mean, it's just that hard work, kind of that progression early?
I mean, I couldn't really tell you what Coach Meyer was thinking. I probably wasn't ready, to be honest. I'm so thankful for him, though. You know what I mean? But I think, yeah, like it's just the hard work. Like that's the culture that he has there. Like if you're not doing everything that you should be doing in the classroom and weight room, especially, you know what I mean? Like all the extra work outside. I think I was kind of able to prove myself and just have him be able to let him know that he can trust me, that I'm going to give everything that I possibly can do with every opportunity that I have.
Is he sounds like a player's coach. I mean, is that fair to categorize him as that?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's like a father to me. Like I said, like he's the man. I still talk to him every once in a while. Just like ask him how he's doing, how the boys are doing back in Albany. You know what I mean?
You can find every episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, or any podcast app. Follow our social accounts for show updates, local events, inspirational content, or simply for fun. Follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, Blue Sky, or Instagram. Please contact the Newsa-Cast to share your story, offer a suggestion of a particular athlete or sport, or even an idea, or just simply say hello. Newsa-Cast@gmail.com. As you're going through Albany, then obviously you're playing well. You're starting for one of the best teams in the country. Is your end goal to play in the PLL? Now you're playing in box, which is it's a whole nother thing. I mean, what decisions are you faced with at that time? What direction do you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wasn't really thinking about my next step because I was like, oh man, I'm lucky I got here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just like thankful that I got to play Division I. That's always been my dream. And then I think my last year at Albany, that's when I was starting to see kind of like, oh, maybe I could do this. You know, I was seeing my name on some things. And then my coach, Coach Thompson, he asked me about playing in the NL, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. I would love to.
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't even thinking about playing the next level until I think that was my last year. I made the decision I want to do that. And I had the conversation with Coach Maher and was like, yo, if whatever I can do to get to that next level, then I want to do it, you know? And all the coaches, Coach Thompson, Coach Maher, Coach Maloney, helped me with whatever I needed.
So tell me about the box game. I know the high schools play kind of a version of box in one of the, small soccer places up here, but you play a whole different game. It kind of seems like hockey, but I mean, what kind of game is it for you? How long? I mean, obviously a big adjustment. It's all short sticks, right? Is that the first time you ever held a shorty?
My first time holding a shorty, like really using it, was my first year with Panther City last year. So it was raw for sure.
Your first goal was right off a draw? You took it down and scored. Was that your first goal?
Yeah, and that's also I got to the bench, and now we were on we were a man down too. So my coach kind of was like, "Yo, you can't be taking those shots, but nice shot." You know what I mean? And I was like, but that was the first one.
That's incredible. So do you like the box game? I mean, it's obviously, like we said, it's a lot different than the field game. Yeah,
no, I love it. I mean, I wish I would have played it when I was growing up. Like I'm playing out in Victoria for the Shamrocks this summer. Like I'm stepping away from from the field game just because I fell in love with box so much, you know?
Yeah. So do those players, I mean, do they make a fairly long career out of it? Or, I mean, is it an aspiration to play like PLL, or are they kind of one and the same? Are they both similar to you? I don't know if that's a good question.
No, yeah, no. I mean, I think being able to play professionally, no matter what you're doing, I think people are like they love what they do. You know what I mean? And everybody that I've been around, like they're so passionate about whether they're in the NL or whether they're in the PLL. Like I don't really think it matters to them which is which. Is just like they love playing lacrosse, it's awesome to see.
Yeah,
I would say the NL is more Canadian, and then the PLL is more American. There are obviously people who do both. Like I'm one of 4 Americans on my team.
Okay.
So it's cool. But yeah, no, I think it is kind of Canada and America, it's getting mixed now though. So, which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's so similar. I mean, it looks so much like hockey to the novice. But I mean, it's legit. I mean, Buffalo, I saw it like 15,000 people. I mean, you're playing in big time. I mean, just basically hockey arena, like the NHL, those type of arenas, only set up for box lacrosse.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, every market has its great. You know what I mean? We play, like you mentioned Buffalo. They get 15,000+. We sell out our barn, in Toronto. So it's everywhere you go. Like it's so passionate. I'm walking around here and like people are kind of coming up to me like, "Yo, you play for the Rock?" Like it's kind of like like you mentioned before. Like it's almost football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a great name.
Markets. Yeah,
Toronto Rock. I like it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I mean, what is the day in the life then of a professional athlete? I mean, what's your travel schedule like? It's got to be late night flights, bus trips. I don't even know. How do you guys travel?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate enough they moved me to Toronto, so I'm right by our practice facility, right by everything. We practice on Tuesday nights, late night because obviously guys have jobs. But yeah, we film, practice at night, and then for home games, we get a hotel the night before the game, and then obviously shoot around that day, in the game at night, and then for away games, you fly out the day before the game. Shoot around that next morning, and then you play the game, and then the day after you fly out. So those are typically early morning flights.
Sure.
But it's every week you're kind of going somewhere, which is I like to experience new things and new places.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got to be incredible. What a way to see the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I was just in Vancouver. That was it's beautiful over there too. So it's
yeah. So I know every kid dreams of being a pro. I mean, is it everything you thought it would be? Is it just shock that you're a pro? I mean, does it hit you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think it's everything. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing what I love every single day, which is work out, play lacrosse, and work out again. So
yeah.
I'm thankful. Like I said, I'm living with my other teammates too, it's a really cool experience. Like, yeah, it's been a dream come true so far. I'm so lucky and grateful that I have this opportunity.
Yeah. What is your workout schedule like? What how long you lifting, running? I mean, you doing it all?
Yeah. So there's only one practice a week. So I try to get as much activity in as I can the other days. Like I usually lift maybe 5 or 6 times a week, and obviously games depending. I'm not going to lift on a day of the game, but try to lift at least 5 or 6, and then also mix that with running after, some type of cardio, like some type of long distance, maybe short bursts, like footwork, all that stuff. And then I'm also lucky. We have one of like a really great staff, you know what I mean? So if I want to go get a shooting workout in, then I can kind of go up to them, ask them to put me through something, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot trying to supplement it by yourself, but also I have all the help in the world too.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you play any other sports like basketball or anything just in your spare time to help with footwork and things like that? Or it's just one sport, that's it?
I mean, every once in a while we'll try to pick up the basketball, but that's rough. That looks really rough,
Yeah.
Especially for me. I can't shoot, I can't dribble, I can't do anything like that. So I'm just trying to stick with lacrosse and try to figure that out right now.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. If nothing else, there's always wall ball, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
The fight you were in with Belter, where you pretty much leveled the guy, was that simply, and just thinking about what you said about the culture in Canada, is that literally the veteran initiating you into the league? I mean, is that kind of what that was, do you think?
I mean, the Rock and the Bandits, I think it's one of the best rivalries in sports.
Yeah.
So that game it's always heated, you know what I mean? And just so happened came off the bench and they had to hit him one of their guys, and then their guy kind of stepped up. And I think it wasn't a planned thing. It was really reactionary by the both of us, you know.
You're I probably watched that fight, I don't know, 106 times. But when you guys take off your gloves, you're cocked and you're eyeing them up. I can only imagine what you're thinking. I mean, that guy dropped like a sack of potatoes, basically. But I mean, you had to just be, this guy's going down, right?
Now Thomas Whitty heads up off the bench, big hit. And now Belter goes right on Elijah Gash. We got a tilt. Gash and Belter throwing haymaker. Gash gets his helmet off. Belter goes with him. They're dropping the gear. Here we go. Gash with a heavy right and an extra right.
I mean, yeah, that was my first fight in the NLL, you know what I mean? So it's like being able to kind of take a step back and with that half second in between throwing punches, you know what I mean? Like, and like, oh wow, we're actually like dropping gloves, you know what I mean? Take the helmets off like, in front of all these fans, you know what I mean? So there was a second where I was like, whoa, this is kind of crazy, and then you're locked back in, you know what I mean? You gotta like, oh, he wants to hurt me.
Yeah.
You know,
is that proper like etiquette to take off your gloves like that? If you're, I mean, and initially you're just kind of grabbing and pulling and you have your helmets and gloves on. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of, I don't know, proper etiquette, I guess, of a fight to take the stuff off, gloves and helmet?
Yeah, I mean, we did. It was a couple of games later. We were playing Colorado, and Billy Hostrauser. He's our guy on the team who does that stuff. So we were lining up on a face off, and he asked one of their guys to fight, and they just kind of took a step back, took their helmets off, dropped their gloves, and then just kind of went at it. So I think it is definitely if you could say etiquette,
Yeah. Well, it kind of seems like hockey, definitely, and I feel like the cultures and I think are sort of similar to me, that there's a way that the players just kind of control the game, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, I mean, the benches are it's not like football where it's like endless benches. You know what I mean? There's only like 19, 20 guys on the bench. So it's very and very intense, very fast paced. And the players definitely, they definitely set the pace and dictate where they want the game to go for sure. Yeah.
My other favorite thing of that fight was your reaction after. I think the two biggest just hell yes that were, it was Rory McIlroy winning the Masters. I mean, that was, he was fired up, and you coming off after leveling the guy. It was epic.
Yeah, no, I won't lie, I kind of blacked out after that a little bit. So I don't remember exactly what I said 100%, but no, I was just excited. Like, it was my first one. My family was in the stands. I was born in Buffalo, actually. So
it
was a nice little homecoming. But no, yeah, it was blood was going. It was I was excited for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Are you ejected then on that? Is that an ejection?
No, so fighting is a 5-minute penalty.
Oh wow!
He actually got ejected for instigating, though.
Okay.
I think if one guy comes and starts to fight and it's not immediately with the two, I'm not sure exactly. I'm still new. But I know he got thrown out. He got the instigator penalty.
Wow, that's an interesting rule. So he starts and he gets tossed, he gets knocked out, and he gets thrown. Wow, that's tough. Hey, you came out all right on that end.
Yeah, didn't win the game though, so I guess they got the last laugh. But it was a fun game for sure.
And I heard after the game, you guys kind of got together and yucked it up a bit.
Yeah, I was just kind of with my family, and he came up to me. He was like, "Yo, like, good fight, like, good game. It was fun." So yeah, no, we're both American too, so it's a nice little. We did have a nice conversation afterwards too.
What do your teammates say to you after? I mean, I know you lost the game, but I mean, they have to be pretty fired up for you too, right?
yeah, initially it was the locker room. It was rough because obviously it's such a big rivalry. You wanted that win, but yeah. So the first maybe 10 minutes, it was a little down, and then somebody was like, "You like did that happen?" And I don't know. It was fun afterwards. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah. In the box game, are moving picks allowed? Just coming from an official, sometimes I ask weird questions like that. But are you allowed to have moving picks, moving screens?
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, absolutely. Like you have guys like they tell me if I ever stay down on offense, like you don't have to have the ball, just move guys. You know what I mean? Create space. If there is a like they will call it the other way if you hit a guy from behind with too much force or something like that, then it goes the other way. But yeah, move like it's a physical, very very physical game for sure.
Yeah, I mean it definitely is. How tight do they call the slashes, or is there even such a thing as a slash?
I've seen one called, but they don't. It's a lot goes.
Yeah.
It obviously depends on the officials too. Some guys call it tighter, but no, it's you'll come out and it's like it looks like you've been in a war. You know what I mean? Sometimes like you're bleeding, you're scratched up, you're bruised. So I do enjoy that about the game, how physical it is.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you do. Hey, I mean, I think it probably suits you pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for those people that don't know, I mean, you're 6'4", 210 maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, 220 around there.
Yeah, 220. Chiseled out of granite, pretty much. But, Northeast Wisconsin Sports Advancement, or Noosa, is a nonprofit org where our mission is to raise money, provide support, and bring greater awareness to youth sports organizations in Northeast Wisconsin. We do this primarily through the Red Smith Sports Award Banquet and the Newsa-Cast. Each year, we give back to the community through the Every Kid Plays grant. If you are considering donating or providing support through Noosa, please visit redsmith.org for details. I mean, it's got to be kind of, obviously, genes in the family. I mean, growing up, I mean, your dad played in the NFL, won a Super Bowl, no big deal, was a coach for the Packers. Is that how you guys ended up in this area because of his coaching stint in Green Bay?
Yeah. So we were with the Lions before in Detroit, and then we moved here. I think my 8th grade year.
Yeah.
And then
you're the oldest, right? I mean, because your brothers are absolute studs as well in sports.
Yeah, I'm the oldest I got 4 younger brothers, so they're all better than me too.
And that's incredible, right? So they're playing there's one at Michigan State, right?
Yep.
And was the other one's Michigan?
The other one went to Michigan. He was a running back. Yeah.
Okay. What how are they doing? I know do you have one that played at Bayport? Was it this year or recently? I know I saw Gash come a lot of.
Yeah. So we moved back to Michigan.
Okay.
Man, I don't remember what year, but no, I think they were both too young. I think they went to Lineville or something.
Got it.
So,
and I heard you say that your youngest one, you think he's the best athlete out of all you guys?
Oh yeah, no, my other brother heard about that actually, and he's kind of upset. But the youngest one, Gideon, he's 6'4", 6'5". Shoe size like 15. He's a sophomore in high school right now, and I think he's offered by Michigan, Wisconsin right now for football.
Yeah,
I'm trying to push him towards lacrosse. But
does he play lacrosse?
Yeah. He's playing right now actually for Catholic Central, the private school here.
I'm assuming a pole as well, right?
Oh yeah. Pole. Yeah, but he's a beast. Like I don't say whenever I come and watch, I don't say anything because he just knows how to play sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a gifted athlete for sure.
No, that's cool. What position does he play in football?
He's a corner.
Wow, 6'6" corner. Holy cow.
Yeah. He's gifted for sure.
That's cool. No, it'll be fun to watch him. And see, but you have another brother that's playing football at Michigan State as well?
Yep, Caleb. Yeah, he's I want to say he's second year maybe, but yeah, he's a DB. I think he's running with the ones right now. So Yeah, he's gifted too. He's all muscle right now.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, your parents have got to just be beside themselves for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, I mean, that had to be, you guys beat on each other. I mean, that had to be some epic games of wiffle ball in the backyard.
A lot of holes in walls and beat the house up for sure. But yeah, no, it was it was a fun childhood for sure. Like, cause everybody pushes each other. You know what I mean? I picked on all four of them, so it was fun. It was yeah.
How did you actually discover lacrosse? I mean, how did you get attracted to that sport?
Yeah, so my dad, his rule was you have to play a sport every season, and I was playing baseball at the time. I was young, maybe fourth, fifth grade or something like that. But yeah, this is kind of boring. I can't. I just want to hit somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He's from the South, so he's like, I don't know what it is, but you can play lacrosse. Like, I've seen guys hit each other there, and I just kind of fell in love. You know what I mean? Like that instantly. I think I kind of knew that was it for me.
Roger Hornberger said, and I quote, "Your dad is the best U10 coach he's ever seen."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's still asking me he's still trying to learn the box rules too. So I don't know how that's possible, but no, he's the best too. Like, he'll take videos of me on the TV. He's like, yo, what do you think here? What did you do here? And I'm trying to explain to him, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can only imagine that all the film that he must watch, it's got to be fascinating to him to just, yeah, right. Your angle of pursuits, all that kind of stuff. I bet he's really fascinated in, and just how the intricacies of the game. It's got to be exciting for him.
Yeah, no, exciting for me too, because I can just kind of ask him, like, yo, what do you think I can do here? Like, or even a workout, you know what I mean? Like, what can I do to get where I want to be? And he immediately, like, I'm so thankful that I have him to bounce ideas and ask for help for, you know?
Yeah. I mean, everybody talks about your dad, but was your mom a pretty good athlete as well?
Oh yeah, she was a Division I volleyball player. I think she is
dang.
in New Mexico. Yeah, so she she understands it too. You know what I mean? She's like, my dad was working all my childhood. You know what I mean? So she held it down. She was at our football games sometimes with 3 or 4 kids in a stroller, you know, by herself, making food. I'm lucky to have them both. You know.
Oh, I can. I mean, it shows. Congratulations to them. They did a heck of a job. I wanted to. I love listening to the podcast, and it not to keep bringing up the fight, but I'm listening to Joe Rogan one day, and he's talking to somebody, and all of a sudden they just start talking about you in the fight, and then that kind of led to. I mean, you know, Rogan's a big fight guy, so he's talking about. He's basically calling hockey players, you know, wimps for fighting because they have skates on and they slip. He said lacrosse is where it's at. Those guys wear cleats and they can dig in and really get some power. So he must have riffed on fighting in lacrosse for like 10 minutes, but it was incredible. It's, you know, just growing the game, and he's actually becoming a fan. He's mentioned it a couple of times how he kind of likes the sport.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I didn't see it at first, and then I just got a clip sent to me that, you know, he was talking about it, and it was I think after the game was cool, but I think that was a moment where I was like, oh wow, that's you know, like, I grew up watching him. Like, it's that was surreal for sure.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah, I mean, I love he's so interesting, just who he talks to and what you hear. They'll riff about anything for sure.
Yeah.
So the future for you can keep just keep learning the box game, right? So you play. When does the season end? Playoffs are you in the playoffs right now? I should know this.
No, unfortunately, we'll miss it this year. But we have a doubleheader on Friday. We play Halifax, and then we're in Rochester on Saturday.
Okay.
And those are the last 2 games of the season, and then playoffs start obviously after that.
Yeah, and then you play. You said you play in the summer.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm going out to, like I said, in Victoria. Their first game I think is May 23rd.
And that's box too.
Box. Yep. Box as well. And then I think their season goes. The Man Cup is September maybe.
Okay.
So yeah, it kind of takes up the whole summer. So you're really playing year round, which I love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's incredible. Mm-hmm. You feel pretty good. I mean, is rehab a big part of your day, or you're still probably young enough, or life hasn't caught up to you yet, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. And fortunately, like the facilities that we have here that the team provides, it's next level. You know what I mean? We have a clinic right in our practice facility, and I'm probably in there too much,
Yeah.
honestly. Probably sick of me. But yeah, no, just trying to take advantage of everything that they do. And I'm thankful that I'm here with this team, you know?
No, that's awesome. Well, like I said, I know you have an incredibly busy schedule, and I don't want to keep you too late. The one thing I wanted to ask you, you'd mentioned that you were doing some coaching. What are you coaching?
So it's coaching through the team. The Toronto Rock, we have like a Pebbles program, which is really young kids, and then like a Rock Stars, Rock Elite, all that stuff. So it's just like different age groups. They come to the track, play games, you know, skill sessions, shooting sessions, just to get better. And it's the team kind of sets us up through that. And I'm also coaching a high school team right now, Kings Christian.
Oh yeah.
Their season starts. It's a field team, which is nice to kind of back to my roots.
Yeah.
So that's starting up here. I think the first game is here in a couple of weeks, actually. But yeah, so it's kind of all set up through the Rock.
Do you like coaching? Is that something you could see yourself doing after your playing career?
I mean, it's I like being around the kids. You know what I mean? Like they're all fun, especially the ones who are there to get better. You know what I mean? I don't know if coaching's for me, per se, but you know, I mean, anything like it's all good group of kids. So I'm lucky and fortunate.
You got to have a lot of patience to be a coach.
Oh yeah. I feel bad for all my coaches in prior years. I can't imagine what they went through.
No, I can't either. For all of us.
Yeah.
It was awesome to meet you. I appreciate Roger, you know, kind of helped connect us, and I thank him for that. And, you know, like I said, I loved watching you play in high school, and certainly going to learn more here about the indoor game. And I'll follow you this summer as well. And it'd be awesome to meet you in person again sometime. Get to a game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to get back to Wisconsin too. So
what's the closest you get with either team you're with? You in Chicago, Minneapolis, like anywhere nearby?
I mean, honestly, I think maybe Toronto is the closest.
Dang.
I think, yeah. I mean, because out west there's Calgary, Saskatchewan. There's not really many Midwest teams right now.
Do you think the league will expand? Are they looking to expand?
Yeah, definitely. Last year, I think there was a team that might have moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan. There's talks about Detroit. I think it's gonna grow for sure.
Yeah. Are the dimensions? Is it basically the size of an ice rink, NHL rink? Is that basically the dimensions?
Yep. Yeah. I think. I'm trying to think of the exact, but yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's that. Yeah.
You got the Resch Center, right? We can hold the NFL draft here. Let's put a team there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that'd be great. Good group of guys there too. So that'd be awesome. Come back home a little bit, you know.
It'd be like the old UWGB Fighting Phoenix games at the old Brown County Arena in the when Tony Bennett played there in the 90s. The place would just be packed and loud. Let's do that in the Resch Center for you. Your team.
I'm all for it.
All right. Well, Elijah, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it. And we will be talking soon for sure.
All right, we are ready for that segment that people like to hear, and it is the Red Smith's Throwback segment, where we give you a little clip of a full interview. And, you know, it's only fitting that we throw this back to the interview with Mark Murphy, because, I mean, this is his, do you want to call it a swan song? Because he is retiring this summer.
Yeah, I guess that's the correct use of the term, and he brings the largest event, I would say, to Green Bay for sure. I mean, a Packer game is pretty huge, but you times that by however many people are going to be in Green Bay, and that's the NFL draft. But yeah, Mark Murphy, the cool thing about Mark Murphy, he might have missed one banquet his whole time that we had. Yeah, the Red Smith Banquet, we kind of had the head table where he would come out and speak. That during those years, he never missed a banquet. He always came. He always spoke.
Right.
And in one year, we gave him the Red Smith Award, and that's what you're going to hear for the throwback. But just as just a fan of the banquet, he in our mission and what we do, he was always there.
Yeah, he was, and he always, just like he is like you see him on TV, you see him in interviews, just a genuine person. He's obviously done a great job for the Packers, and he had a great playing career as well. He's fantastic. He was, you wish him the best of luck. This is a huge event for him, and this is a big win for the Green Bay Packers, and a big get for Mark Murphy to have the NFL do one of their largest events in their history here in Green Bay.
Tosh, when you were talking about that, you start to think about, though, what Murphy actually did up there. I mean, all the land that the Packers have acquired, the whole Titletown district was built under Murphy. I mean, that's him. I'm not saying it's his vision, but he's the leader of that, and that whole entire development. I mean, we all love the Packers, and it's an incredible story that the Green Bay Packers exist in such a small market, but it's because of visions of Titletown and real estate and just making it a destination. What they've done to Lambeau. I mean, I can't even think of how many projects he's overseen. With Lambeau, but was he there when they built the atrium? Or I can't remember if that was him or Harlan, but they were.
Yeah, they're closely involved. He's been around for a large majority of everything. So yeah, what a great throwback this week to tie in with the NFL draft. We hope you enjoy it, and remember that you can catch the full interview on our YouTube channel on Sunday. So when you wrap up your draft and have your draft hangover, you can sit back and listen to the full interview on YouTube with Mark Murphy.
The Red Smith Sports Award Banquet.
The main reason that this banquet was established was to honor at least 10 local area people who might not have been honored for the job they do to help in sports.
The Red Smith Award, of course, goes to someone who has made some unique contributions to sport.
Who has made a significant contribution to sports in the state of Wisconsin.
And also epitomizes the great values that Red Smith exhibited.
Let's give a Red Smith welcome.
Thank you.
I love you.
Yeah. Jeez. I wondered what you'd be doing if we won. All right, I'm not going to make you read a poem. So, well, thank you very much, Chuck. I appreciate those kind words, and it's a pleasure to be here. This is always such a great event. I do want to give special thanks to Mike Reese, tournament chairman of the Red Smith Committee. He's also a board member of the Packers and a real great friend. Mike, I know you're around somewhere. Round of applause. I want to recognize and acknowledge all the award winners, particularly Pat and Goose for their very deserving awards, and also to recognize the young student athletes. As Chuck mentioned, I was an athletic director for 16 years, and I have seen firsthand how athletics participation can really be transformative and teach you life lessons that will be so helpful to you throughout the rest of your careers. And I applaud everybody with the Red Smith dinner, that what you're doing to further both youth and high school sports. It's really meaningful. I also want to acknowledge I've got Packers have a table here. We've got a number of our employees and board members. Why don't you all stand up? We've got a number of great employees who came down from Green Bay. You know, I've been involved with football at the collegiate and NFL level for a number of years. And I think you're really seeing a little bit of a sea change in the NFL, you know, with the spread offense in the college level. And, you know, over the last couple of years, you've had Cam Newton, RG3, Russell Wilson, and certainly Colin Kaepernick coming into the game. I think the feeling always was, you know, you just can't run the quarterback like that in the NFL. And I think it's interesting that two of the coaches that are really implementing those are former college coaches, Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, both having success. But I think RG3 is kind of the cautionary tale. There's risk with it, and it's going to be very interesting over the next couple of years, and actually probably over the next couple of weeks to see how teams respond to that, what defensive coordinators do. But it's really a fascinating. I think it's good for professional football. You know, I'm also very optimistic about the business side of the Packers, and just talk a little bit about that. You know, I think as you look back over the last couple years, the biggest issue facing the league for a number of years was our labor situation. You recall, obviously, we had a long lockout and were involved in litigation. And fortunately, we were able to resolve that. Just kind of a quick story. You know, I got a little bit of recognition or publicity for it because it was really, I'd been on both sides of the labor relations. When I was a player, I was very active in the Players Association. I was the Redskins player rep as a player, went on to become the vice president of the Players Union, and then actually worked for the union when my career ended. And then 25 years later, I'm in my position with the Packers and was on the bargaining committee for the owners. And my wife said to me, you know, she said, you know, Mark, when you were a player, you always complained about the greedy owners. And now that you're in management, you're always complaining about the greedy players. So I said, well, I guess it's your perspective. But, you know, seriously, it was difficult. I think anytime you're going through a labor situation and a lockout or a strike, and, you know, when I was a player, really fought hard to make changes. And I'll share a story. I don't know how many of you are aware of when I was with the Redskins, our owner was a man by the name of Jack Kent Cooke, kind of a larger-than-life character. And somebody asked him what he thought about my involvement in the Players Association. Well, he said that Mark Murphy, this is how Jack Kent Cooke talked, he's a fine young man, but I don't want him as a partner. Now, that we were pushing for a percentage of the gross. And, you know, the irony is we didn't get it, but, you know, fast forward now, and one of the very best parts of the agreement, and it's been in place for a number of years now, is the players get a guaranteed percentage of the revenue. So in a sense, players are partners now. And I think, you know, as we looked at the collective bargaining agreement, what we really wanted to do was to create a situation where it was a win-win for both management and the players. And I think we were able to accomplish that. We continue to have the revenue, the guaranteed percentage of the revenue going to the players. One of the things that I thought was helpful is we really separated out into different buckets the different types of revenue. So for instance, national TV, where there's fewer costs involved, the players get a higher percentage. For local revenue, where we have pretty significant costs involved, the players get a lower percentage. So that's continued, and I think that's worked very well for us. From a player's perspective, the other thing, and you know, as I look to the future now, the biggest issue facing us as a league is health and safety, particularly all injuries. You're never going to eliminate injuries in football, but trying to minimize them as much as possible, particularly concussions. And I think the long-term concern, quite honestly, with concussions is that parents, many of you have sons and they're playing football, that will look at it and say, I don't want my son to play football. And it starts to erode at, number one, our future players, but just as importantly, as Goose said, our fans. The people that have played football are more likely to go on and become fans. So it's a real challenge. One of the biggest concerns, quite honestly, is we are being sued by over 4,000 of our former players about concussions. They're saying that the league, knew that concussions had long-term effects on players, and so that's a really tough situation. We're trying to work our way through that, and we want to have great relations with our former players. I'm a former player. Every day I get a letter from a lawyer saying, join the lawsuit, sue the NFL. And it's like, must not be doing your research. Just again, in closing, I want to congratulate and thank again the Red Smith Committee for all they do in this community and in promoting youth sports. And just in closing, I would say it was a difficult loss. Don't despair. Good times are ahead. And next year, I will be here. We'll be planning on how we're going to win the NFC Championship and win the Super Bowl and bring the Lombardi trophy back where it belongs, up in Green Bay. Thank you.
Tosh, another great Red Smith Banquet throwback. Remember, you can not only get Mark Murphy's throwback, but you can get 70 or 80 of them. A lot of folks have come to the Red Smith Banquet through the years at the Newsa-Cast YouTube channel. Like and subscribe and sit back and listen. Well, Tosh, we got getting through, almost done with another great episode of the Newsa-Cast, but we always like to end it with a little It's Forgotten. I'm never forgetting, a little good, bad for the week. So how about you, Tosh? What's forgotten in your world?
Well, this happened Monday night. I'm sitting up in the press box at Pickett Field at Appleton East doing the score clock for the lacrosse game, and I got my first mosquito bite. So
wow.
I want to forget about mosquito bites, and I wasn't the only one. There was several of them flying around, and the announcer, Jim Dean, also slapped a mosquito. But yeah, the mosquitoes are already out. So I want to forget about them already.
I was just commenting. I was sitting in my back porch tonight thinking, gosh, it's so nice out and there's no bugs. Little did I know.
Exactly. So I know we won't say anything. Let's hope it's a good year for mosquitoes and it's not too bad. But I already want to forget them. And with that, Joe, how about yourself? What would you like to forget?
Well, Tosh, it is forgotten. For me, I had to suck it up and do it. You have to do it every 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is. But I had to go to the DMV. I had to renew my license. It was about to expire. And I thought actually went on Good Friday thinking, you know what, I'm off. So that was the only chance I could go. But I'm thinking, man, I bet you I picked a pretty good time to go. Walk in and bam, there's the line. And boy, was it a line.
You couldn't do it online?
Well, I wanted to get one of those real IDs.
Oh, okay.
So you got to bring 25,000 forms of, I had all kinds of paperwork, but it actually, I think start to finish, I was probably in there about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Okay. And then I used to think, pretty sure you used to walk out with a license. Now they mail it to you. So I don't know. I'll get one in 10 days or whatever. But yeah, they actually moved it along fairly well. Good. And it wasn't too bad, but I don't know. It just, time just does not move when you're in that situation.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all, indeed. Well, that's forgotten. Tosh, how about something that we're never going to forget?
Well, I know I've done this before, but I'm going to do it again because this past week I went to probably one of my favorite places, and that's Hughes Chocolate in Oshkosh. We got my annual my Easter candy, and I went right after school on a Thursday and picked stuff up, and then went back to school to supervise baseball game and softball game. And so there was no line. It was the first time I've ever been there where I didn't have to sit in line. It was fantastic. But Hughes Chocolate, I know I'm finding out that they're, by working in Oshkosh, you're either an Oaks chocolate fan or you're a Hughes Chocolate. I'm sure it's similar here in Appleton where you're either a Wilmar's or you're a Vanderwall. It's the same type of thing. But yeah, I had a little history going back with Hughes Chocolate, and my grandfather always getting it and having it out at Christmas and Easter. And so there's a little history there, but yeah, it's cool. If you haven't been there, obviously get up to Hughes Chocolate. It's a house and the basement is where they make it. I'm kind of like, you walk in there and you feel like the soup Nazi on Seinfeld, where you don't want to make a mistake and you want to get up there and get your order and get out because you're worried that they're going to kick you out, but they'd never do that. They're awesome people. Everybody's very friendly, but great place, great chocolate, and highly recommend it.
Yeah, good. I don't think I've ever heard of Oaks Chocolate. I've been a Hughes guy. That's all I've ever known there. So yep. Oaks, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with.
Well, maybe you'll have to check that out, Joe.
Yeah, I'm always up for that.
Well, that was my never forgetting. How about yourself, Joe?
Well, Tosh, something that's never going to be forgotten, I know, for, our sponsor of the Old Look at New, Chris Winter, his family, his son in particular, Luke, he's a bowler. He goes to UW Whitewater, and they had one heck of a run. They won just recently the national championship, the Open Division. Yeah, they actually won. They won both. So they're a club sport at Whitewater, but they're actually one of the best bowling schools in the nation. They go up against, like the Wichita States and then any classic bowling school you'd think of. So they won a couple of weeks ago. They won the club national championship, which is just club teams. This one was the Open with everybody. So it's every college, whether you're a club team or whether it's a school sanctioned sport. And they went in and they won. They played Wichita State in the championship, beat them 3-0. And won the gosh darn national championship. It's the second one, I think, in Whitewater's history for bowling. But one heck of a run. Luke actually qualified also for individual. Wow. Only 24 people in the nation do that. So that was pretty cool as well. That's
amazing.
But, shout out to UW Whitewater, the Helmer Cup, what's called the Helmer Cup.
Okay.
Champions, the Warhawks.
Wow. That's incredible. That's awesome. I know Whitewater's had a long list of national champions, but that is pretty awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, that really is. Yeah, that school's incredible for D3 sports. A football team's legendary. A baseball team competes. Volleyball. I mean, their club volleyball team is legit as well. I mean, it's pretty cool to see. Pretty cool to see. Well, Tosh, we did it, huh? We got through another episode.
Absolutely. Another great episode. And, always come back because we'll be back next week with another fantastic episode of the Newsa-Cast.
All right, Tosh, always a hoot. Till next week. Thanks for listening to the Newsa-Cast. We appreciate your support in our journey to highlight and support youth sports in Northeast Wisconsin. Help us grow by subscribing wherever you get your podcasts or sharing the Newsa-Cast on social media. A huge thank you to Diggstown for all the music in today's episode. Catch a gig, find them on Spotify, or check them out at digstownrocks.com. One of the best ways to help us grow the show is to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. It really helps our visibility. This Newsa-Cast was produced by Polywave Studios.